Hey everybody, welcome to Achievement Through Attitude TV. I'm your host and attitude coach and hopefully attitude adjuster, Phil Stringer. As everyone knows, this program is about getting your attitude adjusted. It's about getting your attitude right. It's about finding an attitude that gets your motor running and gets your heart pumping. It's about the power of attitude and how the incredible power of attitude will allow you to achieve whatever it is that you want to achieve in life. And finally, what I hope this show does is that it inspires and motivates your attitudes to be amazing. Because every individual that we bring on this show has an amazing story. And they have an amazing story simply because they choose to have an amazing attitude. Because attitudes are choices, and they're your choice and your choice alone. Today we're going to talk about having an attitude of being able to have perspective and being able to pay it forward. Now, when I'm talking about perspective, I'm talking about when you're out there, when you're working hard and you're doing all the right things and things don't seem to be going your way, you're being overwhelmed, you're being knocked down, take a second, step back, and gain some perspective, because there is always an opportunity in everything that's going on. And when you find that opportunity, when you find that attitude that helps you continue to move forward, pass that attitude on to somebody else. You know, the question is, what can I do today to make somebody else amazing in the future? And guys, the two people I have on the show today know a little something about both of those. The first is the women's basketball coach at Hilton Head High School, and the second is one of his extraordinary student athletes. So guys, sit back and get ready to get your attitude adjusted with Coach David Greenberg and his extraordinary student athlete, Miss Sabrina Drammis, next on Achievement Through Attitude TV. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV, where today we're talking about an attitude of being able to have perspective and being able to pay your attitude forward to help somebody else in the future. And I've got a great person here today to help me talk about that. Coach Dave.
Good to see you, Phil.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having me on.
Oh man, thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
It's an honor.
Let's get started about, and I'm going to use some big words here. You are from Maryland originally, right? And you're a legend in Maryland, right?
I don't call me that.
Okay. Now, those are my words, guys.
Yeah.
You know, you won 6 women's state championships in Maryland.
Yeah, 6 public school state championships. And then my closest friend who took over after me, who was the boys coach when I was there, won another. And that's still a Maryland state record.
That's a state record.
Yeah.
You know, when we were talking last week, you know, your principles and your attitude with these kids are amazing. You talk about no excuses, hard work. If you continue to do the right thing will happen. Yeah. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I know people say this, but it's really not about the wins, even though we're keeping score, so we're trying to win.
Exactly.
It's about what they get out of this and what they become. And that's what I'm proudest of when they move on. You know, I've got kids who are teachers, dentists, coaches, they're in business, they're in government, they're moms, whatever. It's what they do with their lives, and you like to think what we instilled in them helped them develop the kind of characteristics that enable them to be successful. And that's what it's about, what their next step is.
Right. Well, when I first met Dave, we were talking about, and the thing that struck me the most is what we're talking about today. I don't really care what kind of basketball player they are. I want them to be a successful basketball player. But he was more concerned of what kind of person they were going to be 5 and 10 years down the road. And I know that a lot of the kids that you touched still stay in contact with you.
Yeah, we've been, and, you know, of course, my wife was a middle school principal, a counselor first, and then a principal while I was a high school counselor. And we've been to hundreds of weddings and stay in touch with kids, and now we're going to their kids' things when they, you know, when appropriate. I mean, that's really rewarding to see them where they are now.
It sounds like you've done something right, you know, because the hardest thing now, you know, we're swamped in a world of, it's probably 90% negative and 10% positive. And somehow or another, you've been able to take that 10% and make it a focus for these kids.
Well, it's tough. I think kids have a lot on their table, but most kids are really good and just need some direction and some some motivation, and we just try and get them to learn. If you work hard, whether it's in the classroom or on the courts, good things will happen to you if you keep on persevering. And that's what we try to do. We have kids that didn't play much for us that I still consider myself having a great relation. I still think the world of, because they went on, they learned how that's the toughest thing, to be on a team where you don't play much, and yet you're still contributing, and yet you move on and become a better person because of that, hopefully.
I mean, I grew up playing sports, and it's what you learn, whether you play or whether you sit.
Right.
It's about learning how to deal with people, how to treat people,
Yep.
how to have some, the excuses.
Yep.
Now, we can do it.
Yep. I know it's difficult, and we tell, we really don't want to hear why you couldn't do it.
Right.
You can tell me that later afterwards if you want, if it makes you feel better.
Right.
But during practice, just get it done.
Right.
Just do what we're asking you to do.
Now, I know when I asked you to come on the show that you were like, well, I just want to talk a little bit. So what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this first segment a little bit shorter so we can get one of your extraordinary young ladies over here on the show.
Sabrina's a much better story than me.
Okay.
Trust me.
Well, guys, when we come back, we are going to meet this wonderful young lady and find out what makes her go. So please stay tuned to Achievement Through Attitude TV to get your attitude adjusted. Hey everyone, welcome back to Achievement Through Attitude TV. Today we're talking about attitudes of being able to have perspective and then finding an attitude and paying that attitude forward. And I have two amazing people here that get it. And I've got Coach Dave, and then I've got Sabrina Drammis here, who is an outstanding scholar and athlete. And she just led the women's Hilton Head High School tennis team to the state title.
Yes.
How many in a row is that?
Well, that's the fifth in a row for the high school, and personally my fourth. And
You're fourth, so you were
the other senior's fourth as well. That was on the team.
Oh wow! So you were a freshman, and
yeah.
Wow. Now you were the #1 rated player on the team.
This year I was ranked #1. In my past 3 years, I've been number 3.
Number 3. The girl that you beat, you made quick work of her, didn't you?
Well, I guess.
That's okay. So. How long have you been playing tennis?
Probably since like 11 or 12. Back when I lived in Salt Lake, I played a lot of tennis, and then when we moved here, I went to Smith Stearns Tennis Academy. Okay. But around my freshman year, I was convinced by coach over here to play basketball. So
that's cool. So you did. I know that you took a little bit of dance when you were younger.
Yes.
And we'll get to that later. But so you did dance, you did tennis, and then coach talked you into basketball. What did coach say to you to get you to get involved in basketball?
Well, I was already playing like JV because I was kind of, I think, losing a little bit of interest in tennis. I didn't want to play as much as I had been playing, which was like every day for 3 hours. So I would go to tennis practice, and then I would go and play JV. And so then I guess you talked to my mom, right? And then finally.
Well, she had commitments with Smith Stearns, and that's why we left her on the JV.
Right.
But halfway through the year, when the commitments were over, we were willing to bring her up with the understanding that she would not play much,
right,
but she would learn what we do, but she had to be there every day. She couldn't miss for tennis, for example. She had to be at our practice every day. So we brought her up mid-season, and she practiced with us and actually moved ahead of a couple kids, got a few minutes, not many, and didn't miss, and was great about it. And then she developed this passion for basketball. It was really her, not me. I mean, we didn't know this was going to happen. Right. We just thought she had some potential.
So you saw the potential in her and said, here you go, you want to try this.
Yeah, she was athletic, she's bright, and we thought she had some potential. She wasn't very good back then, though. Trust me.
Well, let me address this real quick. You were talking about some of her other commitments. Senior student government president.
Yes, sir.
National Honor Society treasurer.
Yes.
Math Honor Society member.
Yep.
Spanish, English. You got a lot of things on your plate.
Yeah.
Well, now,
she's in the IB program, which is the toughest program around, where you take an AB equivalent courses.
How do you make all this work?
I don't know.
What would you tell another student that has this potential, how do you make it work? Because you seem to handle it so well.
Well, I make it work, first off, because that's what I want to do. I'm not doing it just because someone else tells me to do it. I want to challenge myself, and I want to be an IB, and I want to do these other activities because that's what I love to do. And, I mean, yeah, that's basically it. And time management, like, I don't.
That's what we talk about. It's a choice. It's an individual choice. She chooses to do this. You know, Coach and I could talk to her till we're blue in the face, and if she decides that she doesn't want to do it, guess what? She's probably not going to do it. And I'm sure it's the same way with your folks, you know. She chose to do it, and that's why it's amazing that you do all of these things and you excel at all of them. You find the time to do it. You don't make excuses, right?
No.
You know, and there's a message there for everyone that's watching this, that it can be done. But you've got to want to do it.
Yes.
Well, let's talk about the basketball now. Now you're a senior.
Yes, sir.
Did I read? I hope I don't want to misinform. Captain, is that right?
She was captain last year. She'll be captain again this year. And she was all region the past 2 years. She's developing her grand. She's being recruited by colleges at all levels. Some of the top academic Division III schools that have strong basketball programs, along with some Division I schools, some of which are, and Division II. I mean, at all levels.
Right. And now they're recruiting her academics and athletically now, guys.
The Division I schools are recruiting her, and Division II, they're recruiting her athletically.
Yeah.
And it's nice that she has the grades, but they're recruiting her as a player. When they give money, that's what they're giving it for.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they want you to perform on the court.
Yeah.
Now it's basketball, not tennis, for scholarship. I read this fact sheet, and it says that you're 3 of 188. Who are the other couple people in front of you?
Should I tell you who they are?
Yeah.
Nick Czar and Alex Zach.
Okay. So now you're shooting to get over them. Can you pass them by the end of the year, or are you going to be number 3?
I'm actually, I think, 100th of a point behind Alex, but I mean, I respect Nick a lot, so I feel like he fully deserves to be number 1 in the class.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. Now, can you beat him in basketball?
I think I could beat him in basketball.
Would they admit to that?
I think he would.
How about tennis?
He would probably admit to that as well.
So, you know, how do you, when you get up in the morning, I mean, do you have a regiment that you go through?
Well, we've got to get ready quickly for school because we've got to be there by like 7:45. So.
Are you not punctual?
No.
Are you a little tardy?
No, I'm not really. Not recently. When I was in the past, I have been, but I mean, I'm pretty on time.
Yeah,
for
you've been good this year. Yeah.
Where did you pick up the athletic prowess? Is that from your mom, from your dad? I know your grandfather played some baseball for the New York Yankees in 1945.
Yeah.
And in a little bio I read about him, it said that he was excelled in basketball, football, and baseball.
Yeah,
and
he was
like
a 3.
And he was a boxer too.
Yeah.
So you don't box, do you?
No.
Not yet. You probably could pick that up though, I'm sure.
Maybe.
So let's talk about this upcoming season. You know, what are the expectations?
Well,
what are the expectations for you? Then I'll get to Coach what his expectations are.
I want to win region again as we did last year, and I think we're a stronger team than we are last year, so I think we definitely can do that.
And you love to compete.
Yeah.
Coach said that you'll go and find the best players, boys or girls, and you want to get out there and play.
Yeah.
So you're not afraid to do things.
For the most part, I guess.
But you'll do them. I'm sorry, I don't believe her. There's no fear in anything that you do. You just do it.
Sometimes I...
Really? Like what? Give me an example of something you wouldn't try. We're going to have her dance on the show later.
I'm a picky eater, so there's some feel.
But as far as competing with people and dealing with people and education in the classroom, you're fearless in your pursuit. That'd be a fair statement.
I mean, there's always a little fear in everything. So.
Well, how do you overcome that?
Because
you've done it. If you've had that little bit of fear.
You just gotta stick with it. You gotta just do it because you want to. Yeah, you want to get past it. So
no excuses.
It's like one time, someone was like, it was a coach or something, was explaining about like how you are as an athlete when you come to like that wall or something that you can't do, and like, are you just gonna stop? Or are you gonna try to overcome it?
Or are you gonna run through it?
Yeah, defines you as a person, and not just an athlete, but both.
Very cool. Very cool. Who was that coach?
It was down at IMG Academy, so I don't really remember his name.
Okay.
But
Was that a tennis?
no, it's like where Bolletary is down in Florida. It's like a bunch of academies. You can go down there for like a few days and play sports like all day long.
She went down for
whatever you're
basketball.
interested in. Yeah, and I went down and I played basketball for a week in spring break.
Wow, that's good. So the camps, you went to the camps in the off season too to improve your game.
Yes.
Wow, Coach, what are the expectations this year for the Hilton Head girls?
Well, you know, we're very young, despite having Sabrina and T and some other kids back. Macy, but we lost our leading scorer and some other kids that were real valuable to us, and our point guard, another kid that really provided a lot of leadership for us. Those three kids graduated, so those voids will have to be filled. But we're very young, but we have very good size, which I've never had in my career.
Yeah,
we do
I was
have
surprised
that.
when
Yeah.
I was standing. I mean, I'm not that tall, but I was standing next to you. Are you 5'9"?
5'10.5".
5'10.5".
But we got some big post players that are young that we
have
really
some-
never had that presence. So.
Right.
So there's some bigger girls on the team,
Oh,
taller
yeah.
than you. So now, will you play a forward, a guard position? Because I watched you dribbling the ball the other day at practice, so that I can see that you can handle the ball very well.
I usually play like a 2-3 guard.
Yeah, like a guard, like a wing spot. She may play some point. She was our leading rebounder, even though she was a guard last year. As a matter of fact, her average rebounds were higher than anybody I've had in school since I've been there, even though she's a guard, which tells you how hard she competes and how athletic she is. Because she's guarding kids sometimes away from the basket, and yet still getting the rebound. So, you know, we'll have to see what happens. Hopefully, we'll stay healthy, and everybody will do the right thing, and then we hope we'll be competitive and be able to compete for another. You know, we've won the Hilton Head High School had only won the region once, that I know of, back in all the years. The girls' team has only won it once, and now we've won it 2 out of the last 3 years, and we'd like to continue that turnaround if we can. So we'll see what happens.
You can be really proud of the accomplishments that you've made so far.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about Sabrina, you know, she competes.
Right.
She competes. I mean, she just gets after it, and other kids see that, and they compete.
It breeds that
Yep.
that competitive nature.
Yep.
So they talk about leaders. You can do it by example.
Right.
You know,
I think
people
that's what
people don't
Sabrina
want to
does.
hear it. When they see it, they feed off of that, and that sounds like what Coach says you bring to the floor.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. Now, I have to comment on this. When we were talking about college, you're looking at MIT, right?
Yes.
I looked at MIT and they didn't have a class in there for basket weaving, so I decided
They
not to
have
go.
They have a glass blowing class.
Oh, class.
You
Maybe
can take
maybe that's
glass
what I
blowing.
should have done. Now, what are you looking to do to further your education? You obviously are entertaining looking at athletics at the next level, but what's going to be your career direction if you don't make it to the WNBA?
Well, I don't really think that's.
Oh, no, I think you
But,
might think that just a little, maybe.
I want to be a computer science and computer science engineer. So.
In the electrical engineering too.
Yeah, probably. And I mean, if I go to MIT, that's kind of a course that you can take combined. So.
Wow. Now, if you go to one of the other schools, what else? Would it just be a computer science?
Yeah, with also like a minor in robotics or something.
Oh, that's all.
She's only looking at schools that will offer her those opportunities.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's incredible. And guys, I want to thank you both for coming on the show.
Thanks.
Dave, Sabrina, it was a pleasure. And the
Thank
best
you.
of luck to you, and I'm sure that you will excel at every level.
Thanks for having
Coach,
us.
good luck
Appreciate
for
it.
this year. God, the pride of Hilton Head High School right here. So, guys, remember, every morning when you wake up and your feet hit the floor, you have an opportunity to do something amazing, to be amazing. So remember to pass that attitude forward. Never hang your head, never surrender, and we'll see you next time on Achievement Through Attitude TV.